Yo, what is going on, dudes? It's almost time. Thrive, Day Game on Autopilot, is dropping tomorrow night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Now, what I wanted to do for this preview, we got a couple more coming still, but what I wanted to do for the third preview of Thrive is just take out one of the random lessons. I believe in total there's going to end up being like 75 different videos in Thrive alone. That's not even including all of the bonuses that you're going to receive. So I just decided to pluck out a random one. It's a question that I've been getting a lot, so I decided to include it in the course, and I figured I'll just throw it up on the channel here. When I created Engage, my first course, I got a lot of shit about something, all right? And the shit that I got was that the whole course was filmed on a green screen, like I'm using now, but I didn't do anything with it. It was just green, and it was just like draped down. Let me just go ahead and show you. So now you're going to be able to see the way that this course was filmed is much higher quality, better audio, better video, better everything. And the kind of backdrop and scenery thing that you're going to see here is the way that every video is shot as far as the background goes, except for a lot of the videos that are shot outside, you know, on the streets of, there's one on the streets of Miami, there's one, a good amount actually on the streets of New York, a few, obviously all the infield is outside and all of that, but all of the concept videos filmed with the green screen with the nice black background, the Thrive in the background, you know, very professional looking, you know, kind of easier, I think, on the eyes than the draped greens. So here is a video titled How to Game in the Workplace, or How to Pick Up Girls at Work, whatever I called it. I'm going to dive deep here on how you can be gaming both chicks in the workplace and then also in situations where it might be like a neighbor or somebody that you have that sort of connection with where, you know, you wouldn't be as aggressively sexual as you would be, you know, would just say maybe a girl out in the club, or as direct as you would be just, you know, with a girl that you're meeting out on the street, right? So we're going to dive deep. Here's a video. This is another preview of Thrive, which drops tomorrow night at midnight. I'm fucking pumped. What's up, man? In this video, I'm going to be talking all about a question that I get asked all the time, which is how to game girls in the workplace. Okay, so let's get into this. This wasn't something I was actually even going to include in the course, actually, but as I'm making the course and I've been promoting Thrive, I've had a lot of guys ask me about this, and I think that what happens is it gets overcomplicated, right? There's a lot of game that needs to, you know, be using these techniques that I'm teaching you here in Thrive, that you have to understand these core principles, and then there's also just a certain air of just being natural and cool to a lot of what pickup is, right? So you're not going to be running the same type of game when you're talking to girls that you work with, okay? Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is going to apply not only to girls in the workplace, but also, let's say, a neighbor, right? So I've had guys who have asked me recently as well about a girl that lives in their same apartment building, or like is literally their right next door neighbor. There was somebody in the Facebook group that had asked me about that a chick had just moved in, right? And so the same principles that I'm going to talk about here are going to apply, okay? So you have a benefit here, right? Throughout the course, I've been talking about how so many relationships stem from the workplace or stem from a social circle situation where you are granted months and months to build up, you know, some sort of an attraction, some sort of comfort with this girl where you get to really, really know each other. And not only that, but also you fit into the social hierarchy of this girl's life. So if you guys are both, you know, say accountants at the same firm or something like that, right? You just kind of fit in with her there, and it fits into her paradigm where it's like, yeah, this guy that I worked with, as opposed to this guy that I met out at Starbucks, this guy that I met at the bar. It's just the way that people are wired is to, you know, really end up dating people that they know very, very well, okay? So you really have an advantage here if it's somebody that you work with, or, you know, a girl that has become your neighbor or is your neighbor, something like that. But it has to be treated very, very delicately, okay? And let's talk about why. So right now, as I film this in April of 2018, we are living in the age of the Me Too movement, right? You've got Matt Lauer, who went down at whatever, ABC or wherever he was working, for basically sexually harassing his subordinates. This is happening with Harvey Weinstein. It's happening all over. And we are living in the age of feminism as well. And so you have to be extremely careful about the type of advances that you're making on girls at work. Now, not only that, say that we weren't living in this era, just in general, if you get too aggressively sexual with a girl, say that there's no legal repercussions or something that's going to threaten your job, but I mean, if you get too overly sexual with a girl, and she rejects you, now it's going to be awkward for both of you, and especially her, and especially if you tell somebody, right? So this is a very, very delicate type of situation, okay? And my advice for how you would really want to play it out, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, this is a little bit outside of my realm. I have not had a job in over 2 years now from working, from running Evolution Daily and working with another larger dating company for a little while. That was my first step out of my job. And I really only ever worked at, my only actual job has ever been delivering pizzas, and with girls in that environment, there just really wasn't a lot of attractive girls around for me. However, I even had a boot camp student a little while back who's working at this huge fashion corporate brand, and he was telling me that there are just hotties fucking everywhere. So I gave him advice, and now this is the advice that I'm going to give you, okay? So I think what you need to do is you need to, one, assert yourself as a leader at this job, okay? So that doesn't mean obviously talking down to management. That doesn't mean, stepping out of lines and potentially losing your job, anything like that. But you want to establish yourself as a competent man, right? Somebody that's good at the job. So quick little side story here. I know these girls that work at a restaurant near where I live, okay? And they are, I know different girls in these types of situations. These girls are insanely attracted to their fucking manager that is not attractive at all, right? He's not an attractive dude by any stretch of the fucking imagination, but they want to fuck him. I know another really hot girl right now that is desperately trying to fuck her 45-year-old manager at her restaurant job, and he is definitely not fucking attractive. He's short, he's Asian. I really hope that she never signs up for this course and sees this video and hears me saying this, but I know these situations, right? And what that is it's that hierarchy. It's like he's the fucking boss, he's the fucking man, right? So as you're ranking up in your position at work or whatever, wherever you are at this job, be competent at the job, okay? You don't ever want to be the dead weight. You want to be the person that kind of steps up and does some delegation if that's your role, steps up and becomes attractive to her in that way. And as dumb as it sounds, is it's it almost just sounds ridiculous to think that a woman is going to be attracted to you because of how good you are at the job. But on another hand, it really doesn't also. That is her world, and we all have different levels of caring. There's some people at your job, maybe you're one of them, that doesn't give a fuck about the job. You just don't fucking care, right? But there's other people that take it seriously. And I think a lot of women in the workplace take their jobs very seriously. I think that they're more, type A than we are, kind of. They want to make sure that they're doing a really good job. And if you're doing a good job and you're fucking killing it, then again, you establish yourself in the social hierarchy of that job as being the fucking dude. You're the fucking dude. So that's step one there, okay? Now, as far as actually dealing with the girl that you're after, okay? For one, don't give her all of your focus and all of your energy, okay? The same way that you want to be talking to her is the same way that you want to be talking to all of the other girls in the workplace, okay? You want to just be, very cool with them, happy, never complaining, never being negative with these girls. They ask how you're doing. Oh, I'm awesome. How are you today? Never kind of this weekend kind of sucked. You want to give off that energy. I've talked about that in a lot of my YouTube videos. I think you want to be a positive, uplifting force on top of that competency within the workplace, okay? Now, dealing with the specific girl that you're going after. You want to have a gauge on whether or not she's interested, Okay, and the way that I've really developed this kind of gauge is by gaming a lot. It's really come from just years of now social interaction with all types of human beings, but also specifically fucking girls that I'm sleeping with, girls that are interested in me. I'm able to really pick up on that, okay? So you see these stories all the time of guys that propose to their chicks and they say no. How the fuck do you let that happen? How the fuck do you propose to a girl without being 100% certain that she's gonna say yes? That is a socially unaware dude. So you need to not be that socially unaware dude, and you need to make sure that you have a little bit of a gauge of whether this girl could potentially be interested in you or not. Now, I talked about giving off that energy to kind of, all the girls in the workplace, all the people in the workplace in general, but you also then kind of want to be a little more flirtatious with this girl. Nothing over the top, nothing overtly sexual, no lines of intent, to be honest, but maybe just, depending on especially her, playfulness when it comes to that kind of stuff, just, playfully teasing a little bit here and there. You're such a klutz, stuff like that. Just kind of giving her a little shit here and there, but just a little bit. Then when it comes time to hang out with her, okay, you don't want to ask her to go on a date. All right. You do not want to use the date frame. So throughout this course, I'm talking all about the date frame. I'm talking all about how you want to make sure that, like, if you are hanging out with one of these girls, they know what the fuck is up. And if they don't know what's up and they thought that this was just going to be a friendly hangout, then your game is whack, bro. You need to step your fucking game up, okay? You need to not use the date frame in the workplace. Again, because you just straight up asking a girl to go on a date. Let's look at the outcomes here. 1, she says yes, awesome. 2, she says no, not good. Now you've asked her on a date and she said no, and that can make things a little weird, right? However, hey, Jessica, what are you doing on Friday night? I'm not really sure. I was just going to say, if you wanted to go out and grab some drinks, I think me and a couple friends are going to be headed up to the local bar down the road, blah, 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 right? Just ask her not to go on a couple drinks, Hey, what are you doing tonight after work? I don't know. I was thinking about hitting happy hour. Would you like to join me? Boom. Just fucking not framing it as a date, not saying I want to take you out, nothing like that, but trying just to get her to hang out with you outside of work a little bit. And there is when you can really unleash a little more of the flirtation, right? Because now you're actually hanging out, and it's different. Telling a girl, you're very cute, by the way, when you're on a date with her is going to be much less aggressive, or even just hanging out with her outside of work, it's much less aggressive than if that happened in the workplace. For so many people, I think the workplace is kind of like this sacred zone, right? Especially, again, depending on the level of caring that the people and this person, this female in particular, has for that job. She's very career oriented. Some of you guys might be working in finance, or, I know a lot of the guys that watch my shit are like engineers and stuff like that. It's like some other female engineer. It might be very inappropriate to say, you're beautiful, by the way, at the workplace. However, once you've gotten her to hang out outside of there, then, nothing wrong with dropping a little line of intent in there. So going in, being a fucking boss at the job, being good at the job, establishing yourself as a leader, that's going to help for you to build the attraction. Going into the positive energy, a positive vibe, that's going to make everybody like you, but it's also going to create even more attraction. Over time, sparking up conversation with the girl, and you're going to be developing comfort in that way, and then just asking her to hang out. Hey, what do you got going on tonight? I'm not really sure. Why? Or, well, I was thinking about it. Well, I was just going to say I was going to head over to happy hour at 4 now if you'd like to join me. Yeah, sure. Why not? Right? What are you doing this weekend? I'm not sure. I don't really have any plans. Well, Saturday night, I don't know. I was thinking about going and check out that new bar that just opened up over by the barbecue fucking blah, blah, blah. Why don't you join me? Yeah, sure. That sounds fun, right? And then that rejection is not a harsh rejection if she does say no. If she's genuinely busy, or she says like, I'm not really sure, whatever. They're just like, okay, yeah, no problem. Brushing it off, no problem at all, right? You don't want to be the guy that gets the reputation around the office or around the workplace as the guy that's going around and asking all of the girls on dates, right? So not setting that date frame. So I hope this video kind of helped you guys to have a better understanding of how to game girls at work. And again, at the beginning, but I haven't mentioned it in a little while, but at the beginning of this video, I mentioned this will apply to girls that are like your next door neighbors as well. Kind of the same things apply, right? You ask that girl out on a date or something, after, not really knowing her that well yet, after not hanging around her a lot. And then it's kind of like you just burn it down right away, as opposed to like this could have been a good female friend for a while, and then you could have escalated from there. So taking the same kind of precaution and care, I think, is going to greatly help you out with this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to game girls in the workplace.